The High Court in Pretoria has granted AfriForum an interdict halting the government from donating 50 million rand to Cuba. The lobby group's lawyer, Johan Hamann, successfully argued that no parliamentary overview ever took place. AfriForum CEO Carly Creel further argued that the donation is not rational given South Africa's huge debt. The group previously told the court the move is a slap in the face of taxpayers and the poor. Well, for more on this, we're joined by AfriForum Strategy and Content Campaign Officer, Rainer Duvenacher. Rainer, good evening to you, and thanks for your time tonight. Look, I'm assuming that, you're feeling quite victorious after this successful application. Of course, it's just one hurdle out of the way. The real merits of this case are yet to be contended with.
Good evening, and good evening to the viewers, and thanks for having me on the show. Yes, this is an important hurdle to get over. So the court ruled and granted an interdict against the planned donation, 50 million rand donation to Cuba. The ruling rested on irreparable harm. So it ruled that if the respondents did not make the donation at this moment in time, it would not cause irreparable harm. But it could possibly cause irreparable harm to South Africans if 50 million rand of the taxpayers' money is donated to Cuba. So that's what the interdict rests on. And as you said, we will now go ahead with the review application, which will then demand that the decision to donate the funds to Cuba be overturned. And it's very important that we got over this hurdle. The court also ruled that the respondents have to carry the costs for this application. And with the review application, we will then argue that this donation contravenes the Public Finance Management Act, since all donations more than 100,000 rand need to be approved by legislature. Also, the DIRCO, the Department of International Relations and Cooperation, made the donation from a surplus which was carried over from 2020, but the Public Finance Management Act stipulates that any donation cannot be carried over for 2 years, so the money had to be paid back to Treasury. And that's what our legal argument will rest on for the review application, and we're very, very confident that we will succeed with the review application as well, and that this is just the first step. So
if I understand you correctly, you're not necessarily against the idea of South Africa assisting Cuba under, this African Renaissance and International Cooperation Fund Act, because that's the piece of legislation that DIRCO has pulled up, under which it says this donation is effectively being made. You are questioning the process that was followed in allocating these funds.
No, both. We are very much against this donation being made. We feel it's illegal to donate this money under the current socio-economic circumstances. The people of this country have suffered under COVID-19, but also under decades of mismanagement and corruption from the government. So in that sense, it's illegal, and we do not condone this at all. But our legal arguments also rest on the fact that the correct parliamentary process was not followed. So both.
Of course, it's not unheard of for countries, even like South Africa, who are facing a multiplicity of challenges, to continue maintaining relations, sometimes by way of offering aid or funding, depending on what, the requirement of the day may be.
No, I do not agree with that statement. If you look at the Global Hunger Index, food insecurity and hunger is a bigger problem in South Africa than in Cuba. So in this case, it's completely irrational, and frankly, it's an insult to the citizens of this country.
So are there different circumstances under which you think South Africa could offer funding to Cuba?
Listen, I mean, I think we shouldn't go into hypotheticals. You can never say never, but at this moment in time, under these circumstances, this is completely irrational. It's illegal, and it's an insult to the people of this country. And that's why we're very glad that we managed to get this interdict, and also that we hope and we're very confident that this review application is going to be successful.
So the reason I'm asking this is that, we've seen South Africa, of course, get involved during different issues that face, whether it's countries within the SADC region where, we'll give funding for different multilateral conversations to be taking place. Sometimes if it's in the form of military, the South African SANDF form part of support of forces to fight, like we're seeing in some of the conflicts. So my question is really around, are there parameters around which you think funding of this nature should be ring-fenced?
Well, again, referring to this specific case, and where we are at this moment in time, our economy contracted during COVID-19. People are suffering in this country. People are, really, really having a tough time. And to want to donate these much-needed funds to Cuba at this point in time is an insult, and it's something that cannot be justified in any way, shape, or form. And that's why we lodged this. We made this application, and it's simply unacceptable, and we're very glad that we've overcome this first hurdle, and I'm sure we're gonna be successful in the future as well.
All right, Rainer Duvenacher is the Campaign Officer Strategy and Content at AfriForum.